Hello everyone, I am the channeling goddess. If you are new here, hi, hello. If you are returning back, welcome back. So today we are doing something very different. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a numerology reading. So originally I was going to do 1 through 9, but these readings kind of took on a life of their own, so I'm going to be splitting them up. So for this particular video, I will be doing the numerology of 1, 2, and 3. So you will be able to see the timestamps in the description box below. Now, as always, if you are looking to get a more in-depth reading or more in-depth information specifically from spirit, it is helpful that you set your intentions with spirit to get that information, to make sure that there is clarification of the messages that you need to receive, whether that's in the form of a number, whether it's in the form of a color, a bird, whatever the case may be. I would definitely say to set that intention now before you click on the pile that best suits you. Okay, second thing is, if you are looking to tap more into your own intuition and become one with spirit, so that you can hear the messages that spirit has for you, it is helpful, or at least one of the things I prefer to do, is to step outside and put my feet in the grass and become one with the grass. I would also say, if you are by a body of water, to absolutely do that, because Mama Wati did come out in one of the piles today. And while I'm talking, I just keep seeing like feet in water and hearing the words Mami Wata, so that may be significant for someone in here. In addition to putting your feet in the grass or in water, I also like to take 3 mindful deep breaths. This just helps me get more in tune with my own intuition, and will allow you, or help me in this case, to see and hear the messages that I need to hear from spirit, and maybe it'll help you do the same. Okay, I would also say that you might notice I haven't posted as much, and there's a reason behind that. I'll be making an announcement soon. I think there will be some, I don't want to say retraction, but I probably won't be posting as much on my channel, but hopefully, you know, I will still get to post and put some information out there for you. I would also say that my channel may start to look a little different. I've been getting some guidance around some things, and I'm waiting on spirit, or waiting for additional confirmation that that's what I'm being called to do, because right now I'm not quite sure. I don't have all the answers right now, but when I do, I'll make sure that I let those of you who've been following me know. So yeah, that's all I have, and I will see you in your pile. Please make sure you check the description box below, and that's where you'll find your pile. Okay, see you in your pile. Bye. Hello there. So if you felt called to the number 1, then this is your numerology reading. So I'm going to read a few things about the numerology of the number 1. You could have been, and I just saw 11. You could have been saying 111, 1111. You could have been saying 11, or just ones in general, in any capacity. It could be 110, 114. Something about that number is speaking out to you, and we're going to talk about it. Okay, so here are some things that might be helpful to give you just a brief understanding about the numerology of the number 1. So the number 1 is a leader. So think about the number 1 as kind of like beginning almost. It's not quite the Fool card, right? The Fool card is 0. That's like you're just jumping off the deep end. The numerology of number 1 is about beginnings, but it's also more about leadership, okay? So some of the keywords that are associated with the number 1 is independence, initiation, ambition, self-reliance, and new beginnings. Okay, so a lot of times when we think of being independent, right, we think of being by ourselves. And I just saw 111. We think of being by ourselves. We think of, keeping our emotions or whatever we're going through to ourselves, right? That's more of the independence. Some of you could be going through an initiation, where you're being put into something, or not really put into something, but you're starting something completely new. This doesn't necessarily have to be in religion. This could be you're being initiated into a friend group. You're being initiated into a certain kind of lifestyle, right? There are so many things that the word initiation could mean. Some of you are becoming more self-reliant. So the reason why you're seeing the number one is because maybe you're, going off on your own. Maybe you're getting your first apartment for the first time. You're buying your first expensive bag. You're whatever it is that you're doing that it is happening because of you. You could be starting a business or something like that. And then, of course, we have new beginnings, right? So you could be giving birth. I just heard somebody could be giving birth to a child, or you're about to be pregnant. So if that's something that you're excited about, congratulations. But some of you, this is about a spiritual awakening. This is about newness coming into your life. The old almost being wiped away, and you're like jumping off the cliff, like free falling. Okay. So the energy around the number one is masculine and assertive. So a lot of times when we're doing things that are more independent of others or ourselves, we're having that moment of like, okay, I'm going to finally do this, or I'm asserting my quote unquote, not really dominance, but like you're asserting who you are and where you want to be and the type of life that you want. Usually that happens a lot with beginnings. A lot of us, even when you're moving in fear, so sometimes we have to move into new beginnings in fear. Even when you're doing that, you are making a decision to be more than what you are now. You are making a decision to expand. You're making a decision not to expand sometimes in new beginnings, right? You're making a decision to say, okay, like, I don't want to do this new thing that's coming on. I want to stay where I'm at. And a lot of times, that is a form of resistance. That can be that masculine and assertive energy that's coming out for you or coming out within you. Okay. So some of the traits of the number one. So you could also be born like in January. You could be born on like 1/1/1/1, like not 11/11, but you could be born on January 11th or January 1st. But some of the traits are a natural born leader, innovative, confident, and pioneering, right? So a lot of the number one is about starting something new. Sometimes you're like, think about how people talk about how they're the first in their family to become a millionaire. They're the first in their family to buy their own home, right? You are an innovator. You're a natural born leader. Even if I will give this to you because I keep getting it. You may be the type of person who you don't really like, leadership ain't your thing. Like you're like, I don't want to be a leader. I'm comfortable with being in the background. I will be honest with you. A lot of those people are some of the best leaders, the people who are more comfortable being in the background, because you know what it's like. You know what it feels like. So in exchange for that, right, you have a lot of confidence. You are pioneering. You are starting something new, right? So here are some of the challenges of the number one, right? The numerology one says can be self-centered, stubborn, or impatient. So this, when I hear the word impatient, it makes me think of like, you just started out on this new, you just started this new business, but you want to be a millionaire tomorrow, right? You're a bit impatient to see how things may be coming in for you. You're a bit impatient on how things are going to play out for you. You want it now. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. Like most people do, right? But I'm hearing like you need to check yourself, right? So if you're resonating with this, you'll know, right? It won't be something that I'm making up for you. You will absolutely know if this is about you. And sometimes when you're starting something new, sometimes we can be a bit self-centered. Sometimes we could be talking or only willing to deal with ourselves, or only being stubborn in the way that we feel like we know. And especially that's not the mindset you want to have. And I just saw 101. It's not the mindset you want to have when you're starting something new. You have to be willing to learn, right? And to step out of that stubbornness. Okay. So the number one represents the power of creation, individuality, and it is essentially you standing in your truth. Okay. So a lot of times we are going into a place of individuality. Sometimes we're going into places where we are the first of our kind, first of our line, like, and that number one could be coming out for you because you are the first of your line to do something, first in your family to do something. You're an innovator. You're a natural born leader. This is something that you are actually born to do, but it may be difficult to reach out to that calling, especially if it means you will have to walk away from something else, right? It's hard to go down that path when you're not sure how it's going to go. But I feel like Spirit is saying you're creating something new. You're creating something beautiful. And in order to get that, you almost had to step outside of your comfort zone. You had to do something a little bit new. You had to do something a little bit special. Okay. Let's get you a couple of cards. See if we can get some additional messages. Okay, we have the fate, accepting accepting help and guidance. Yeah, what isn't I just talking about that? Like, I think Spirit is saying that you are walking away, right? That because I think if I'm not mistaken, one of the challenges of the number one is being self-centered. Spirit is saying you have to be willing to ask for help. Some of you have a problem with being the student. You want to be the teacher, but you haven't learned anything yet. And Spirit is saying, be open to this guidance that's coming into for you. Some of you, when you're seeing 111, it's because Spirit is trying to give you guidance about something that's happening. And then we have the Dancer, self-expression, strength. So a lot of times I think I mentioned this as well, to go on the path of newness, to be an innovator, to be someone who is a born leader. Sometimes it takes a lot of strength to do this particular situation, this job, this whatever it is that you're doing, the first of your kind, first of your line, to do something like this. A lot of times that takes a lot of strength. And even like here, this fate where it looks like they're trying to cut the cord. Some of you could be cutting cords, you could be cutting ties with people, and you're going on something new. And that 111 keeps coming through to remind you that you're okay, you're on the right path, you're exactly where you need to be. Okay, so that may be, pay attention to your thoughts when these numbers start coming up for you. And wow, we have the pathless. It says difficult decisions, lack of direction. So for some of you, when you may be feeling like you don't have a direction, you don't have a path that you know for sure that you want to go down. And some of you, you're seeing the number one in whatever capacity you're seeing it in. You're seeing the number one because Spirit is trying to point you down a path. So maybe let's say you are sitting down and you're thinking about writing a song, and then you see 111. Spirit may be pointing you down that path because you feel so pathless, because you feel like, I don't understand how I'm going to get to where Spirit is saying I'm supposed to be because I have no path. Like you could be saying, like, what is it? I think it's like a Gemini saying, the jack of all trades, but master of none. Maybe there's a lot that you can do and you don't really know like where to start. And that number, the energy of the numerology 1 is coming through in times to help guide you down the right path. Okay, let's get you some more cards. You could also be seeing, because I just saw it, 441. That could be confirmation for you as well. Okay, so we have the Walker, unknown, a journey. Yep, you're going, to me, it's like similar to the Fool card, right? You're going on a completely new journey, and you may not necessarily know where this is going to take you, but Spirit is going to give you little small nudges, and some of those nudges will be in the form of the numerology of 1. You may see it a lot. You may start to see it in your dreams. You may start to, I don't know, you may be driving by and the lottery numbers are 111, right? You never know, right? But Spirit is saying that when you see those numbers, honor the path that you are on. Even if it's scary, even if it's unknown, it's not something you are quite familiar with. Spirit is saying to honor that path, okay? And then we have the Waker. It says awareness and reflection. So Spirit is also asking you to reflect, have some type of awareness about where you're going, about yourself, but also be willing to reflect on what it is that you don't know and you don't understand. And then your bottom deck energy is the Queen, determination, sacrifice. Yeah, some of you, this 111, whatever this new beginning is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're innovating, there's a sacrifice that needs to be made. And this could be a sacrifice of mind. This could be a sacrifice of person, place, thing, whatever the case may be. You're having a sacrifice to get to this new beginning, to start something new. You're leaving a lot of things, I feel like, maybe it's family, friends, location, whatever it is, you're leaving some things behind. And that's the sacrifice that you're making. And Spirit is saying we're honoring that sacrifice, okay? Okay, let's pull you some other cards. Since you're going through a new beginning, let's get you some Green Witch's Oracle deck. Spirit, thank you. We have Moth. It says mystery, concealment, illusion. Yeah, the illusion is leaving. The illusion is going away, okay? It's almost like you may be seeing moths. You may have seen a moth in your house recently, flying near your kitchen. And then we have Cup of Tea, patience, reassessment. Bottom deck energy is new beginnings, expansions. Yeah, so a lot of you, this is just confirmation. Look under there, you have butterfly transformation. So a lot of you are going through a lot of new beginnings. That's why you keep seeing this. And then you also have the patience. What did we talk about? Like with the number one, sometimes you're bullheaded, right? You want to go for it. You don't want to stop. You're like, I want it now, right? You can be a little stubborn, a little self-centered, a little impatient. And Spirit is warning you about these traits. Spirit is warning you about how you're going about this, whatever this new beginning is. Spirit is saying, have patience with yourself, be kind to yourself, be loving toward yourself, because what you're building is, and I'm hearing span lifetime. So you may be starting it in this lifetime, but your children's children may be experiencing the benefits, the fruits of what you're growing right now. But Spirit is asking you to be a little bit more patient. Understand that there is a lot of illusion and concealment that is falling away. And it's part of your new beginning is like, for some of you, your new beginning is that the old is being wiped away. The things that you weren't quite privy to, things that you didn't understand, that you didn't know anything about, you're being made privy to. And because of that, things are going to start to change. Okay. Let's see. I want to pull you some of these angel number cards just to see if there's any additional messages that Spirit might have for you. Okay, we have shift. Yep, you're definitely going through a shift. We have 565. So it says, take a look at your life and see what areas need to be shifted to bring you more joy. Take the time to reassess your priorities and create a plan for yourself. Yes, some of you, you're definitely shifting. For some of you, you're in the process. Look at that, you got transformation into here. Some of you, you're in the process of shifting and moving into something new. And when you start this shift, that's when you're going to start to see 111. You may even see it beforehand, but you're going to start to see a lot in the midst of you starting to transition. And then you have self-care is 789. It says patience, self-care, ensure you're getting enough rest and engaging in activities that bring you joy into your life. So for some of you, I feel like I'm getting this feeling of like full steam ahead, right? And Spirit is saying it's okay to go full steam ahead. We're actually like supporting this, but in the midst of you going full steam ahead, make sure that you don't forget to take care of yourself, right? Just because it's a new beginning and it's exciting, don't feel like you can't slow down. Don't feel like you can't take breaks. Don't feel like that's not something that you can do because you feel like, oh, I'm going to lose the momentum if I take a break, if I stop. Spirit is saying what is for you is for you, but you have to be willing, because I heard, first of all, you have to be willing to accept what's coming in for you. I heard somebody say earlier today that they were creating a spell, not just for you to bring in manifestation, but also for you to be able to receive what's coming in for you. So for some of you, you may want to do like a ritual, like a self-care ritual or something like that. Maybe a spiritual bath or something like that, or light a candle. A green candle specifically, and it's green right here and you got green here. A green candle specifically might be important or maybe significant for you to open up your heart chakra so that you can actually be willing to receive this new beginning and not fight it. And then we have clarity. It says 543. Trust yourself in the universe to make the necessary changes, to achieve your goals. Soon you'll gain clarity about your life's purpose. Yeah, for some of you, you're going into this right? You're going into this one phase. You're going into oneness with self. You're going into wholeness with self. And in order to do that, there is some clarity that's needed. And I think I talked about this, like the moth, the mystery, concealment, illusions are being wiped away so that you can see clearly, so that you can move forward. Okay. So this is all I have for you. Thank you so much. And I will see you in our next one. Bye. Hello, if you chose the number 2, then welcome to your reading. So the energy of the number 2 is the diplomat, okay? So some of the keywords, before I get into the keywords, think about diplomacy, right? Think about diplomats that go into different countries and things like that, or diplomats of particular countries. They're usually gone in as I always say they're like negotiators, right? They're always testing the waters and having those hard conversations, doing negotiations and things like that. So if you feel like you're in a more diplomatic space, or you're being called to be a medium, right, between, yourself and someone else, or, whatever the case may be, then, this is part of that diplomacy, right? So some of the keywords associated with the number 2 is balance, harmony, partnership, sensitivity, and cooperation, right? So think of diplomacy, right? They are there to help like each other cooperate. They're there to find the middle ground, right? But number 2 can also talk about love and partnerships. Now, partnerships doesn't necessarily have to be about love, but I know a lot of people associate the number 2 with love. But this could be partnerships of friendship. This could be partnership with a business. This could be partnership with a brand deal, right? There are so many different ways to partner. Or to have a partnership. So don't limit yourself to just love if you're feeling drawn to the number 2. Okay. So the energy of this particular number is feminine and receptive. So a lot of times when you're in the energy of the number 2, you should be in a more receptive mode where you're receiving, right? You're opening yourself up to spirit. You're opening yourself up to the universe to receive that which is meant for you. It is also a feminine energy. So whenever I think of like feminine energy where you are being more receptive, I think of the Empress or people like the Queen of Pentacles sitting in their own energy, letting what is already theirs come to them. So for some of you, you may be more in your masculine energy and spirit is asking you to get a little bit more in your feminine. That may be why you're seeing the number 2, and I just saw 2 and 8. That may be why you're seeing the number 2 in any capacity that you're sitting, because I just saw 2, 2, 3. You may be seeing it in so many different capacities, but it is Spirit's way of trying to almost bring you out, is what I'm hearing. Spirit is bringing you out of your masculine energy. Yeah, my third eye just like got a lot of pressure. Spirit is bringing you out of that masculine energy and bringing you more into your receptive era, right? So you've been hearing, I know if you are on TikTok or Instagram, you've been hearing about like the soft girl era, right? And for some of you, that's what you're going into, soft life. This could be for male or female, right? But Spirit is asking you to come out of that I gotta hustle kind of culture and be more in your feminine, be more in the area of your life where you're receiving, where you're open to receiving the things that Spirit has for you, okay? Then we have some of the personal traits of the number 2 is a peacemaker, nurturing, emotionally intelligent, and intuitive. So a lot, if you know anything about like the feminine energy, it is described as intuitive. It is described as being able to tap into one's own energy, right? And I think a lot of times you may also be the person in your friend group that is the peacemaker, because it's going back to the diplomacy, right? You're making sure that, both sides understand each other. You are making sure that you are the go-between. You're the middle person, because I don't want to say middleman, but you're the middle person, right? You're the go-between, and you may find yourself doing that a lot. You may find you may find people coming to you to resolve conflicts. When you're saying the number 2 in any capacity, whether it's 22, 222, 222, 2224, 2222, whatever capacity you may be saying. Some of you may be saying 2224 for me to say that. But whatever capacity that you're receiving it in, Spirit may be asking you to calm yourself, be one with yourself, be receptive to receive the message so that you can give it to those around you who need it, okay? Some of the challenges that the number 2 face, or the energy of the number 2, is overly passive, okay? Indecisive and people pleasing. So I would imagine in a diplomatic space, you have to have that balance, right? And when you're out of balance, that's when you're indecisive. You blow one way with the wind, you may blow one way and then blow another way depending on how the wind blows. These are challenges that you could be facing right now, and that may be why you're seeing the number 2 in its capacity, because you're being overly indecisive, or you're just saying, I'm not going to make a decision at all. I'm just going to stay in the middle, right? I'm not going to help with anything. If you avoid me, that would be great. Like, if I don't have to make any type of decision, it will be too soon, right? It could be that you're in that particular zone where you're just passive, like I don't even want to deal with it. That may be why you're seeing the number 2 as well, okay? So 2 represents sacred union of duality, divine feminine energy, unity, and divine timing. So the energy of the number 2 is patience and trust. So for some of you, you may be in a time where You are starting something new and you want it. And I just saw 555. You may be starting something new or going through a new challenge in your life and you're ready for it to be over. Like I'm hearing the boy from A Monster's Call. He was like, I'm ready for it to be over. And you may feel guilty that you're ready for it to be over. And Spirit is saying, don't be guilt. You don't have to feel guilt. Just trust that everything is happening in divine time. And they want you to be a little bit more patient. The energy of the number 2 is asking you to be a little bit more patient. It is asking you to, be a little bit more trusting of not just others, but of yourself. This really feels like that number 2 energy that is coming in for you. If you're saying it in whatever capacity that you're saying the number 2, it is asking you to be more trusting in yourself, more trusting in the higher power that already lies within you. Because sometimes we forget about that. We're looking for things outside of ourselves and we forget about us. We forget that we have sovereignty and we're sovereign beings and we have power over ourselves, right? I would also say that for some of you, you may be growing. I'm getting a slow burn in a relationship, and I just saw 707. You may be getting a slow burn in a relationship, and this could be a romantic relationship, but this could also be not a religious, like a spiritual relationship where you're coming into connection, coming into creation. So for some of you, you may need to hear that, but you're coming into connection with your ancestors. You're coming into connection with your angels, with the spirits that are around you. You may be connecting with different orishas that are coming in to build a connection with you so that you can expand. Okay. So because 2 also represents duality, and it can represent partnership or balance. We're going to pull some romance and love cards and just see what messages we get. Okay. Spirit, can we get some cards, please, for the energy of the number 2? Can we get some cards? Thank you. We have gifts. It says love's greatest gift is the ability to truly understand one another. So for some of you, you may have to have a little patience in understanding someone else. This could be a partner. This could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. This could be a deal that you're signing, being able to understand your obligation as well as the company's obligation, whatever it is they're asking you to do. Spirit is asking you to be a little bit more cautious, read the fine print, but Spirit is also saying that there is a gift coming in for you. For some of you, the patience that Spirit is asking you to have and the trust that they're asking you to have is because there are some new gifts that are coming in for you. And you can feel them, right? You can feel the energy of them, even if you don't know exactly what they are. You feel the energy of these gifts, and Spirit is saying, be patient with us. These things are baking. These things take time, but be a little bit patient with us. This thing is coming. We're not gonna it's not gonna stop. It's on its way to you, but you have to be a little bit more patient, right? Then we have dreams. It says, look to your dreams. They hold all the answers you seek. So for some of you, you may be seeing the number 2 in your dreams. Your dreams could also be a guide to these gifts that's coming in for you. And maybe Spirit may give you, I'm hearing Spirit may give you some information about these gifts in your dreams, because they can feel your impatience and you want to know now. So they'll give you a little something, right? Like it's almost like something to hold you over until the real thing come in. Okay, let's get you some other cards. Okay, we have wedding. It says taking your relationship to the next level, one step at a time. So for some of you, you're coming into union with someone. It doesn't have to be an actual wedding. For some of you, could be getting ready to get married. For others of you, you could be coming in into union with another person, taking your relationship to the next level. For those of you where this spiritually applies, and I just saw 1002, for those of you where this spiritually applies, you are coming into union with your head orisha. You could also be coming into union with your ancestors, like really having a real strong connection with them, where it is unquestionable. You're not questioning whether or not it's your ancestors that's talking to you. Okay. Let's see. Let's get you a couple more cards. We have Star. It says your hope and optimism are a powerful love magnet for you right now. So for some of you, you're very hopeful that things are going to turn out in a good way. You're very hopeful. Like some of you, For some of you, there may be messages in, if you believe in star seeds and star family, for some of you, you're coming into connection with your star family. For some of you may be seeing mountains. You may have seen rivers. I'm hearing oceans as well. You may be traveling in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks, and it may be something that you see. Some of you, you're definitely like, something about the constellations is going to be calling out to you. I don't know anything. Well, I know some things, but not enough to really talk about constellations, but that could be something that's significant for you. Okay. All right, and then we have boundaries. It says, love may challenge your boundaries, protect them. For some of you, if you are afraid of the connection with your ancestors, you want to connect with them, but you're afraid on how it's going to be, you can set boundaries, right? You can set boundaries in the beginning, right? To have certain things happen, to let them know about your uncomfortabilities so that you both can be in a cohesive type of situation. Okay. Also boundaries, the number 2 is about balance, right? So make sure that you have those boundaries in place so that you can balance out yourself and the things that work out for you, balance out the things around you, making sure that you're not overextending yourself, make sure you're not giving too much. Like seriously, like to me, this feels like Spirit is saying you need to be more in your receptive energy so that you can receive the things that are meant for you. Okay. Let's get you one more card and then we'll get a bottom deck energy. Wow. And we have trust. It says, guard your heart. Not everyone deserves your trust. Yeah. For some of you, we talked about this. Yes. Patient and trust. So Spirit is bringing it back to the number 2, that you really have to trust in yourself. You have to trust in the fact that whatever is meant for you cannot pass you by. It is yours. So it is not something that can just float off into the ether and you're never going to see it again. It doesn't work like that. You have to trust that the things that are coming in for you, when the timing is right, because we talked about divine timing, when the timing is right, it will be there. Have a little patience. And then we have individuality. So for some of you, you could be coming from Numerology 1 reading. It says, beware possessive partners, maintain your individuality. So for some of you, you may be the type of person who loses yourself in relationships. You lose yourself in others, and Spirit and your guides even could be coming through to say, keep with your individuality. That's why you have those boundaries here. Make sure that you're taking out time for yourself. You may feel like really excited about talking to your ancestors and you're like, I'm going to do it every day. And Spirit is saying, don't lose yourself in it. Understand the gift that has been given to you, but don't lose yourself. Okay. So we're going to get some divine feminine cards since this is a feminine energy. Oh, I think this is 2. Yep, this is perfect. So we have Yuki-onna, stillness. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. And then we have Spider Woman, co-creation. Okay. And your bottom deck is Kuan Yin, compassion. Okay. So I feel like a lot of the energy of the number 2, and you have 52 here. The energy of the Yuki-onna, I believe is how you say her name, is there's stillness here. So for some of you, we talked about that being in the more patient mindset, but also being more receptive, right? And some of that includes stillness. That includes not hustling. That includes not going out and doing the most. And by you not doing that, you're co-creating. For some of you, you may be really heavy into Spider-Man. You may also have Native American ancestry, because something about the piece right here and the war paint, or at least it looks like war paint to me on her eyes, is giving me that vibe. And also her hair, there's like, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a little piece here on her hair. So you may have a Native American ancestry. They may be reaching out to you. You may have had dreams. Yeah, because we got dreams up here. You may have had dreams about your Native American ancestry. You could have been in a room with them. But this is also talking about that stillness, that receptive. When you are receptive to what Spirit wants for you, you are co-creating. That is exactly what it is. You are co-creating with the universe. You are getting messages. You are understanding the messages that Spirit has for you from the universe, but you're also co-creating your reality. You're creating the things and your manifestations is what I'm trying to say. You're creating the manifestations that you want. You're creating the life, the love, the happiness, the money, whatever it is that you want. That stillness and you being in a more receptive mode, like understanding that what you put out into the universe can only come back to you, right? And a lot of that takes stillness. It takes meditation. It takes quietness. Because in the quiet is when you can really hear spirit. In the quiet sometimes is where you find real answers. And what I mean by that is sometimes we're asking spirit for stuff and we don't even know what we're asking for, or we haven't put actual words or feelings to what we're asking for. And sometimes in the stillness, when we are soul searching and we are looking back, we can really truly understand why we're asking spirit for certain things, why we think we need A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. Let's get you a couple of more cards. Okay, so since we got dreams, it came through twice for me. We're going to pull from the Shamanic Dream Oracle deck and just see what messages we get, okay? Ooh. Spirit, can we get 2 cards? Thank you. Okay, we have Empty Well, Time to Replenish. Okay, let's get number, okay, that makes sense to me. I'm going to show you both of these, but we're going to keep shoveling. So we have Adaptability, Woodwives, and Mini Mask, the Authentic Self. Okay, we're going to keep pulling. Thank you. Then we have Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibilities. Okay, bottom deck energy is Unmarked Trail, Revelation. Okay, so the first card was Empty Well, Time to Replenish. I feel like because you've been in such a hustle mentality, you've given so much of yourself to others. Spirit is saying that your well is empty and it's time to replenish. Now, I would also say this. There may be someone coming into your life that is going to help replenish this well. They're going to pour into you. And that's going to be about you receiving. Some of you, they're going to pour into you. And Spirit is trying to warn you now so that you are in a more receptive energy when they come along, because you may be the type of person that's like, I got it. Like, if I need to pour into me, I'll pour into me, right? But you can't pour from an empty cup. And Spirit is saying your cup is empty, and we're going to send you someone who will help replenish you, who will help revive you. But in order to do that, you're going to have to be able to allow yourself to be replenished, right? And then we have Stars in the Sky, Limitless Possibilities. Spirit is saying that the possibilities are endless. And I think I talked about this, meditation, and the stillness, right? We got stillness here. Some of you, you really need to be in stillness. You need to be one with self, because it's only in stillness will you receive the revelations, because you got revelations right here, right? You will receive the revelations and you will understand that the sky truly is like, the sky truly has no limits. I don't like that saying the sky is the limit. The sky has no limits, right? And your spirit guides are coming through to say that there are limitless possibilities, but there's also patience and trust in these limitless possibilities. You have to be willing to step outside of the known. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, to see things, and not react, I'm hearing. So for some of you, you may have to understand that you need to be poured into. Let someone give to you. I imagine that those of you who are in here who are the people pleaser type, you have always been giving, right? You give, and no one pours into you. And Spirit is saying that you are going to come into a connection that is going to be a gift. You may even dream about this person. Or like I say, you may dream about your ancestors, but they are going to pour into you. They also may teach you boundaries, I'm hearing. They may teach you to trust in your own intuition, to trust in your own self, but you're going to have to be willing to receive this when it comes in for you. And I know that can be hard. As a recovering people pleaser myself, I get it. It can be very hard to just say, okay, I'm going to let this person pour into me. I'm not going to have any expectations. I'm just going to let it be what it is. And it can be hard to be like that. But Spirit is saying that there is so much that they need you to do. There are so many things in this life that you have to do, and so many gifts that you're meant to receive, and so many dreams that you're meant to make a reality. But you cannot do this from an empty cup. And I will also say for some of you, you need to stay hydrated, because I'm getting that feeling. I'm seeing my blue mason jar in my mind's eye. So you may need to stay hydrated, okay? So For those of you that stuck it out with me all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will see you next time in our next one. Bye. Hello, if you chose the numerology number 3, then you are in the right reading. All right, so let's just dive right in, okay? So the energy of the number 3 is the creative communicator, okay? So to me, number 3 reminds me of like the artist, the tortured artist to be specific, people who are like talkers, like, so it reminds me of Geminis as well. That energy of like that playfulness, that creative energy, almost childlike. And we'll talk about that a little bit more because it's part of the energy of the number 3. But that creative communicator, finding ways to communicate in a different way, finding ways to make something like, have you ever had like a teacher who was like super awesome? And it's not that they were teaching you something different. It's just because of the way that they taught you, how you learned in their class, makes a complete difference in how you accept or receive the information. Okay. So some of the keywords that are around the number 3 is expression, joy, creativity, optimism, and social connection. So for those that you associate with a number 3, or number 3 could be coming out for you. You could be like a social butterfly, or coming more into your social butterfly status where you are dealing with a lot more people. I'm literally getting the image of someone brushing shoulders with like celebrities and really famous individuals and things like that. You could also be the very optimistic type of person. And sometimes it can be hard to be optimistic, especially with the way the world is going right now. But you find optimism in the most unlikeliest of places. And that is rewarded. Spirit is rewarding you. So that may be why you keep saying the number 3. Whether it's 3, 333, 33, 33, 33, whatever capacity that you're saying this number in. That could be Spirit's way of rewarding you and saying that we recognize your optimism even in the face of uncomfortability. Okay. Also, the energy of the number 3 is childlike and vibrant. Okay. And I just saw 222. So for some of you, you may be coming from the 2 numerology reading, but the energy of number 3 is very childlike, and I just saw 233. It's very childlike, and you may feel like, and I'm wondering why 233 came out, and I think I know what it is. You may have like someone has maybe have told you like you're so childish, and not in a oh, you're acting childish, but in more of a sense like of telling you that you need to grow up and you love things that would necessarily, and I just saw 3, like 300, things that would normally be associated with a child. You have very vibrant childlike energy, and people have made you feel bad because of that. They want you to be a little bit more balanced and not be so all up in the air. And Spirit is saying that your childlike energy is your gift. Your childlike energy is beautiful. And I'm getting a ringing in my left ear. Your childlike energy is very beautiful. It's very vibrant for a reason. I would also say be careful with that vibrancy. Not saying that it's a bad thing, because it's not. It's a beautiful thing. And I just saw 333. It is a beautiful thing, but also be careful. The brighter you shine, sometimes people want to be in your energy and they're not always there for the right reasons. And they could be making you feel bad. Like they're enjoying your light, but they're uncomfortable with the fact that you have this light, right? So be careful with that Spirit may be warning you. You may see 333 when there are people around you who seek to take and siphon your light, okay? Some of the personal traits of the number 3 is playful, charming, witty, imaginative. So you may have some of the best imagination. You may be a writer. You could be a content creator. To me, that's the energy of number 3, those who put themselves out there and have like a very witty personality. You can see stories in nothing but clear plastic or something like that, you can hear a song and see a whole story to this song. Like, you have apps, like whole music videos playing out in your head. You could also like hear someone make a statement and it turns into just completely whole book in your head. You may be able to write a song about things like that. Very creative, right? That number 3 energy is very creative. It could also be very charming. So people may find you very charming. People may be drawn to your smile. They may be drawn to the sound of your voice. Maybe something like that. Maybe you're one of those people who do like voiceovers, or you are a voice actor. That could be something that you've always wanted to do. So this is the energy that's around you when you're seeing the number 3. Okay. So some of the challenges of the number 3 is scattered energy, superficiality, avoidance of responsibility. So we're not surprised, right, what the challenges can be. If the energy around the number 3 is very childlike, if it's very vibrant, most children are not excited about taking on responsibilities, right? If you have a child who's like, captain responsibility, then you have a very rare breed, okay? Most children, they're not really about responsibility, right? They're very free flowing. They're like, go with the wind, I flow, you flow kind of thing, right? And I just saw 555. Kind of like, we flow in together, like we'll do the dishes later, or we'll pick up the poop later from the dog. Like, it's so free flowing and so airy, right? But it can be a problem, right? Because if you are a writer and you have that like creative spark, right, but you're so busy living in the creative spark that you forget to write it down, then that could be a problem, right? Especially if you're on a deadline, right? So and now it's coming to me why that 233 came out. There is a certain balance that's needed in that playful childlike energy, so that you can still do the things that you want to do and have the fun and be vibrant type of energy that you want, but still have that balance. Okay. So 3 represents the mind, body, spirit, and connection. The mind, body, spirit connection, encouraging you to speak your truth and live with joy. So 3 is divine expression. So when you think about the number 3, think about something that is like alive, right? That's the way to me, the number 3 is like living. If you are a Christian, the number 3 is associated with the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? So there is a connection that could be happening for you, a coming together, which is why you may be seeing the number 3 in whatever capacity you're seeing it in. There may be a coming together, because I'm also seeing the 3 of, I think it's the 3 of Pentacles in my mind's eye. You could be coming into community with other people. You could be dealing with a lot of individuals. You could be meeting your soul tribe very soon. You could be in a situation where you are connecting to like-minded individuals, and it may, in places where you're doing that, you may feel like the most free that you've ever felt. And in doing so, there may be so much expression that may happen. So what I mean by that is, let's say you are a songwriter, right? And you haven't been able to find that one song. Like, you can feel it in you, but you can't quite get it out. Something about you coming into the community with those around you, like with not necessarily those around you, because I don't know if they are, but coming into community with those who vibe on your same wavelength. Because I'm seeing a beach and I'm seeing waves, especially right here. You may be coming into connection with those who vibe on the level that you're on. And by vibing in that community, you are going to have the most beautiful self-expression, the most beautiful expression of joy. But I would also keep in mind the challenges of this, right? Sometimes we can get lost in the expression and forget to give it to the world, right? We're lost. I'm here like lost in the sauce, right? We're lost in it and we forget to give it out to the universe, and we forget to give it out to not just ourselves, but those around us who need that energy, who need to feel the flowing waters. And I'm hearing Mami Wata, so I don't know if that goddess is coming through for you, but I just heard Mami Wata in my head. So we're gonna pull some cards just to see what kind of energy comes through for us. Okay, can we get some Okay. Thank you. We have weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Yeah. So for some of you, you've been carrying some things that don't belong to you. And that the threes have been coming through to let you know to let go, to live in a more childlike state, to be more in a more expressive state where you're more free flowing. Okay. And then there's water here as well. I think I said Mama Wata. So she really may be calling out to you. So I would definitely say to do some research on that, goddess. She may definitely be calling out to you. Okay. Spirit, can we get some cards, please, for numerology 3, please? Thank you. We have Star Family. It says you're part of a team of souls calling support. So I think I mentioned this as well. You could be coming into community with your Star Family if that's something you believe in, or something you subscribe to. You could be coming into connection with those who are your true Star Family that, you know, maybe not have been born by blood, but have been born by spirit. Okay. So they may be coming in for you very soon. For those of you, you may be going through a situation where you need to call in that support. And the number 3 is here to say that you can absolutely do that. They're waiting for you to call them in. Okay. Then we have baby steps, actions, follow your intuition before it makes sense. So for some of you, that follow your intuition before it makes sense. To me, this is spirit saying to be more in that childlike energy, right? To be more free flowing. Sometimes it's not going to make sense. You're just going to have to do it and trust that gut feeling that you have, just to go for it, to dive in, right? If you're looking to start a business or move, or I don't know, you want to ask that particular person out, right? And I just saw 1111. You may want to ask this particular person out, and your spirit guides are coming through to say, sometimes you have to take that leap before it makes sense, right? Sometimes you can't be logical. Sometimes you have to be in that very free-flowing energy, okay? Then we have big picture thinking. It says Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. So like, what did we talk about? This is the creative creator, right? You may be in this situation where you meet your Star Family or those that are meant to be around you, and they help you see much bigger, like a bigger picture thinking. And it's going to inspire so many ideas for you. But one thing I would say, if you are the type of person that's very creative, maybe keep a notebook around you so that you can write down those ideas, so that when you get back to quote unquote out of the sky, out of the whoo kind of energy, that you're able to actually put this out into the world. And then I would also say research Pleiades energy. That is, I believe, a star seed family. Research the Pleiades. They may have a message for you, or if you do subscribe to Star Family, like I said, then you may be a part of the Pleiades star seed. Okay, let's get one more card and then bottom deck energy, please. One more card and then bottom deck energy. Your energy feels like really giddy. If you resonate with the number 3, numerology 3, it feels very giddy. Okay, we have the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So for some of you, you're definitely severing and leaving some things behind. Yeah, because we talked about letting go up here, boundaries, letting go, letting it flow. And a lot of times, I feel like for some of you, you've been living in anger, you've been living in fear, and it's time to let go. It is time to be more free flowing. Like what I'm seeing is in my mind's eye, and I'm not saying to do this. I'm giving you an example. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye is bungee jumping and cutting the cord. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. And then I want you to see this, because I'm going to show you both. So I was getting ready to put the cards down, because this is actually the bottom deck energy after shuffling. It says starbathing, light code, crystal grid, transmission, activation. So some of you are going through an activation, but I want you to see this. This card was left on the table and I didn't even see it until just now. It says, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. So for some of you, I think we talked about this in the beginning, you having that childlike energy. Somebody may have told you, like, you need to grow up, you need to act your age, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Spirit wants you to know that your creative side is not for everyone. Not everyone will appreciate who you are as a creative. Not everyone will appreciate your childlike energy. But I promise you, for every person that doesn't appreciate it, there will be 10 more who do. Okay? Don't let that stop you from being who you are. Don't let that stop you from being as free flowing as you want to. Like, even look at like the cape, kind of cape thing here. Be as free flowing as you need to be. And for some of you, you're definitely going through an activation. That's how you're going to meet your star family. That's how you're going to meet the community that you're supposed to come into. You're going to be going through an activation very, very soon. Okay, let's get we're gonna get 2 cards from the Women Myth deck. Thank you. This must have been meant to come out because it came out again. So Kitsune is the monster, the trickster. Okay, let's get one more. This is Mama Huako. I'm not sure. I do not want to mess that up. I'm going to read it from the book. But it says Heroine, the teacher. And then bottom deck energy is Pesta, the omen. So for some of you, there may be an omen that may happen very, very soon for you to confirm what I'm saying right now. It may come in the form of someone you love. It may come in the form of dreams. But something about it is going to be very significant, and it's going to confirm what I'm already saying, or what Spirit is saying for you in this particular reading. Now, I do want to read these from the book, so give me a minute. Okay, so I was scrolling through the book trying to find this particular goddess, and Mami Wata came up. So I'm going to hold this up so you can read it or screenshot it, because that came through when I was earlier. I heard the name Mami Wata. So she may actually be reaching out to you. And I want to read this bottom. It says, Mami Wata is blessing you with a gift, one that reminds you of your objective worthiness. She asks that you maintain your integrity in your actions, remain true to your personal principles and ideas, and don't let anyone divert your focus. To me, that's just confirmation about what we were talking about, right? Spirit was telling you that you need to make sure that you don't let people deter you from who you are. Don't let them change who you are as an individual, because you're not for everybody, and you're not meant to be for everybody. There's a reason why not everybody can be in your presence. There's a reason why not everyone can see your light, because they will try and take it from you or try to siphon it from you. Okay. So I believe this is Kitsune. So I apologize if I'm saying this wrong. It's Monster the Trickster. Deception, evasion, untrustworthy. It says there are 13 different types of Kitsune, which are Japanese for fox demon. Yeah, I was thinking about the 9-tailed fox when I saw this. It says they can often be magical tricksters and appeal to humanity's worst vices. The card meaning, it says you're not feeling like yourself or acting like it either. You're not feeling like yourself or acting like yourself. Yes, somebody made you feel like you can't be childlike anymore. Okay. It says bring concentrated awareness to your thoughts, actions, and patterns. You may be acting in a way that is unrecognizable to yourself or others. The Kitsune card points to a question of identity and who you are fooling. Are you not being honest with others or yourself? Be kind to yourself and do some introspection to affirm who you truly are. Yes, some of you lost your creative spark. And the number 3 is coming through to say that you need to be honest about who you are. You need to be honest about what makes you happy. You need to be honest about the things that you want to do that may not necessarily, people, may look down on it or turn their nose up at things that you want to do. But the Kitsune is coming here to say you need to self-examine who you are. You need to self-examine yourself and be honest. Be honest about the things that you love. Be honest about what it is that you want to do. Honesty is the best policy for you. Those of you who resonate with the number 3. Okay. So we have Mama Huaku. I hope I'm saying this right. If I'm not, I am so sorry. Heroine the teacher. It says foundation, building, compassion, teaching. It says, a warrior and shaman, Mama Huka had influential religious and governmental duties as a leader in the Inca people, for the Inca people, and founder of the capital city Cusco, maybe? It says, you may feel unsure where to turn for comfort, support, or wise counsel. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but know that over relying on others for advice and experiencing competing voices can be confusing. Seek out the wisdom, counsel of a trusted friend, advisor, or elder. Think of someone you can confess your worries or troubles to, someone who can offer you kindness, compassion, and lessons from their own life. Experience, even if it is not your own, is a great teacher. So for some of you, your soul tribe is definitely coming in to say that to almost give you help, give you someone that you can lean on, give you someone that you can trust, someone who has your back, someone who loves you unconditionally. They don't need you to be anyone different. They just want you to be yourself, okay? And something about that is you're going to be like a teacher. And look at this, freedom of time. You're going to be a teacher, and you're going to teach others how to do what it is that you're learning how to do right now, okay? So let's get a couple of cards, Spirit Queen. Wow. It's a lot of cards. Can we get some cards for the energy of number 3? Inner work. It says, don't be afraid to prioritize your personal growth and spiritual development. Health and wellness are necessary to enjoy an abundant life. Yeah, so for some of you, you have hidden, like I'm getting the vision of someone who had the most playful, beautiful energy, and someone made you feel bad about it. So now you walk around in suits, and there's nothing wrong with a suit. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a suit, but the energy that I'm getting, like the imagery of this, you wearing the suit, is you feeling like you can't have any fun. You feel like you can't be yourself. You can't fully like have fun. And part of I think that's why that omen came out. You may be doing some inner work to heal your inner child and let them out. And an omen is going to come and happen to show you that you're on the right path. Okay. We have research. I think something else flipped over. Yeah, okay. So we have research. It says, before you make your next move, it is important to do some exploratory research so you know all the possible paths you can take. For some of you, this is Spirit is saying, I think it's in the Bible. There is a verse that says, try the spirit and see whether it be of God. Spirit is asking you to do your own research, right? On yourself, right? This is inner work. Like for both of these cards to have the same imagery, Spirit is saying you need to do some inner work on yourself so that you can be more free, okay? Excuse me. In whatever omen that comes, do research on that omen, okay? If you want to know if it's the right one, talk to your ancestors, talk to your spirit guides. Even your soul family could be of assistance in this particular situation. And then we have freedom of location. It says, a truly prosperous life is one with freedom to travel and freedom to live in the locations that you desire. So to me, that freedom of location really talks about that childlike energy. It talks about that freedom of not being confined to one place. And this is not just physical, this is also mental. Not being, wow, and you have closed-minded. This is not just physical, it's also mental. Freeing your mind, like I'm hearing, free your mind and the rest will follow. I think that's a song. Free your mind and the rest will follow. That the song may have a message for you, but some of you need to move out of your current location, whether this is a physical location or a mental location. It is no longer safe for you to be there. Okay, then we have training. It says you still have some new skills to acquire before you can really advance to the next stage of your career. So for some of you, you're going through a training. I would not be surprised if you start seeing like warriors in your dreams, or if you start seeing a lot of movies around warriors and training and stuff like that. But this is also a training of learning to be more, it's going to sound crazy, but mentally unstable. And I don't mean that in a very, like in an unhealthy way. What I mean by that is the freedom to not like seclude yourself and not feel like you have to be one way all the time, straight-laced all the time. Spirit is saying for some of you, you need freedom, and I don't know if if you just recently have a child or something, if you've just recently had a child or you've been around your nieces and nephews a lot, they're going to train you. Oh, sounds weird, but they're going to train you in that childlike energy. And it's almost like you seeing them in that state is going to awaken something beautiful in you. Okay. Then we have closed-minded. It says sometimes you fail to see the infinite possibilities and opportunities that are available to you. Yeah, you've been closed-minded for quite some time. You haven't really let yourself be free in a long time. I wouldn't even be surprised if the idea of freedom freaks you out, because it could feel so unstable, and it could feel like you don't know what's going to happen and how things will turn out. And it's like this fear of like stepping into this particular situation or particular time, or almost to let go. That's what it is. It is a, thank you, Spirit. It is a fear to let go and to let things be what they will be, and not trying to control the outcome. There's actually a card in this deck that talks about micromanaging the universe. You are trying to micromanage your life, and Spirit and the number 3 wants you to be a little bit more free, a little bit more open, be willing to take a little bit more risk, okay? So we're going to shuffle from this angel number deck just to see if there's any additional messages that the number 3 has for you. Okay, we have 000. It says you're receiving guidance and protection from the universe. Trust in the divine plan for your life. Yes, there's a divine plan for your life. You have divine guidance. There's a divine plan for your life. And in order to get there, you have to have this almost like this freedom. There's like this free flowingness that you need. And it's almost like by you being so free, you're going to allow Spirit to guide you. And then we have adaptability. 765. It says you are flexible and capable of facing changes. I can't talk. Trusting your strength to navigate any challenges that arise. Yeah, you have the strength within you. You can adapt. Things are definitely changing for you, and you're going to learn to adapt. But a lot of times, this adaptability feels like adapting to free flowing, adapting to letting go, and understanding that you, like, when you let something go, it's because it's not meant to be with you at this time, because if it was meant to be, it would be. Then we have reassurance. 747. It says trust your intuition and make practical decisions that align with your higher purpose. Your guardian angels are acknowledging your efforts. So I think I mentioned this before, but you could be getting a lot of assurance that you're on the right path. Yeah, we talked about an omen as well. You could be getting assurance that you're on the right path, that you are headed toward exactly where you are meant to be. But you may be more of a logical type where you need additional confirmation, and Spirit understands that, and they are going to come through for you. Okay. So this is all of the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me all the way to the end, and I will see you next time in our next one. Bye.